Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
This is Season 1, Episode 5 of Hockey Talk with Coach Shannon Miller on Wisp Sports Radio. I'm Shannon Miller, and at Wisp Sports, we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage. Hockey Talk is presented by Instat, a video product that our team, the Calgary Inferno, uses and does every team in the CWHL, the Canadian Women's Hockey League. I use Instat Video because it's the most helpful video tool that I've ever used as a coach. In today's episode, I will discuss old ways won't open new doors. Having the courage to step outside the box, create new things, try new things, and be innovative. And I will share with you important defensive concepts to protect a lead late in the game. My special guest from the world of women's hockey will be Gina Kingsbury, the new head of high-performance women's hockey for Canada, an accomplished world champion and Olympian. Today's sidebar, I'm going to share with you an interesting parable about a giraffe and a turtle. And I'm going to announce my drill of the week, which will be posted on my Facebook page at Coach Shannon Miller on Thursday. Welcome. I'm honored to have my own hockey podcast show on Wisp Sports and to be part of the most popular and influential podcast organization for women in sports globally. Today's podcast title, Dare to Take the Lead and Fly. Our guest on today's show recently said, old ways won't open new doors, and I totally agree. How does that relate to hockey? Well, I believe in learning from the old models, training off the good, but not settling with that. Working from it to create new and innovative ways to do things, all things in hockey and in life. The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, they invented the airplane. Imagine how creative their minds must have been, how they must have worked and tweaked their vision, their dream of flying. The wind, it's invisible, but yet so powerful that it can turn over cars, knock down buildings, and create tsunamis. Imagine how many naysayers there were when the Wright brothers said they saw a new possibility, and when they unleashed their creative and innovative vision of flying. Imagine all the people that poo-pooed it, criticized it, were jealous of it, and all the people that maybe believed it was possible and a good thing, but didn't have the courage to say so publicly. The Wright brothers defied the laws of gravity. They discovered new laws, new principles, and they created a paradigm shift. These brothers, these pioneers, they were innovative, brave, courageous, and they changed the way we travel across the entire world. And they took something that was believed to be improbable and even impossible to actually become a new normal in our lives, travel by airplane. To relate this to hockey, as a coach, as a mentor, as a leader, I encourage thinking outside the box. Build on what has been done in the past and continuously strive to make the game better. What was cutting edge a few years ago transforms into what our normal is today. When coaching hockey, I believe in courageous and creative offense, a dynamic and highly offensive style of play. The style I like has tremendous defensive pressure, which when done well, puts us on offense. This style of play creates defensive and offensive pressure, speed both ways, and it allows for freedom and creative play offensively. I coach, use the ice, use everyone. Allow your players to be interchangeable and read the game. Playing this style of play is high energy, creative. It allows freedom, it's entertaining, and it's fun. The style of play allows flow. It cultivates players to move into space rather than play a position. The style of play is dynamic and allows players to expand beyond their traditional limitations. Coaches, remove those limitations. Create a state of freedom for players. Allow players to trust their instincts, to take calculated risks, to be creative, and to have fun. Coaches know disciplined, strong defensive play puts you on offense. Defensive play has to be the foundation. So create a solid foundation, but also strive to have the most powerful offensive tack possible and have fun doing it. Overcome the inherent fear of leaving the safety of solid ground behind. Move away from old, predictable patterns and embark on a new, creative journey. A journey of defying gravity like the Wright brothers did. Taking risks, establishing new norms. Now, it takes a little courage to be different, to veer off the path of normal, to create your own style of how you will play the game or live your life. I encourage you to find that courage and to do it. Now, it's not easy to escape the old ways, to shift the paradigm, to move towards something new. But when we do it, things change for the better. We change for the better. We grow, we create growth for others, we create growth for the game, the family, the business. What is cutting edge eventually becomes the new normal. Everyone eventually does it. Many NHL teams now have 4 attackers on the direct attack, and they allow their players to be interchangeable in the offensive zone. 15 years ago, this was new to most of us. It was new to me back then, but I started doing it the minute I learned of it. And today, it's becoming the new normal. Another example, coaches in football, basketball, and volleyball, they call in plays from the sideline. They call in plays during stoppages of play. And hockey hasn't been that common to do something like that. Today, the NHL team, the San Jose Sharks, the coaches call face-offs from the bench for their players. I do this as well, and I've been doing it for years. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. Winning a face-off, putting your team on possession, and then having a set play to attack off of possession is simply having a plan for offense. Be open to escaping the gravitational pull of what everyone else is doing or has done, to consider something different than what has been modeled to you in the past. Yes, we have learned from those that came before us. We have modeled some of what we do after them. But now maybe it's time to step away from that which has been modeled, to have the confidence in yourself, your knowledge, your vision, and for you and we to think outside the box and create our own and create a new path for the game. In fact, I believe it's our duty to do this, to help grow the game. Remember, something that seems unlikely or risky to others becomes the new reality, because one person or a few dared to be different, which eventually created the new norm. So start with a vision of what you want. Start with a little courage to dare to be different, and then build it piece by piece until you have something remarkable, something different, something creative, and something that you are proud of. It doesn't matter if you're a coach or a business person. It doesn't matter if you're 35 years of age or 65. Create ways to advance beyond your present wingspan. If you choose to operate in old ways, to adhere to gravity, to stay on the ground, there is little hope that you will advance greatly. Greatly being the key word. I humbly encourage you to use your imagination, think outside the box, be cutting edge yourself. It'll be fun. You and all involved will grow, and you will all grow your present wingspan, and eventually it may become the new normal, like flying in an airplane is to all of us. I'd like to welcome a very special guest on the show today, a former world champion and Olympian for Canada, Gina Kingsbury. I'd like to give a special shout out to Gina's parents in Rouen, Quebec. Hi, Marlies. Welcome, Gina, and congratulations on your new position with Hockey Canada. We can dive into your vision a little bit later in the interview, but just to get started, please share with our listeners what your new title is and a little bit about your responsibilities.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Shannon, for inviting me on this podcast. Really looking forward to chatting with you a little bit on I guess on my career and my new position here at Hockey Canada. I started working for Hockey Canada 3 years ago as a director, mainly on the player development side of the game. And, again, with my history as an athlete, I was able to really connect with the athletes and really dive deeper into their development and what their needs were around skill development and all of those aspects. Last July, so July 1st, Melody Davidson, who was our general manager for many years at with Hockey Canada in our women's high performance department, decided to take a new position as the head scout of our program, which left, I guess, a vacancy as the leader of the women's high performance side of things with Hockey Canada. We did pair up the two high performance departments in a new structure this past July. So it is called the National Teams Programs, our department, and I'm leading the women's side of the game. So everything from our Olympic team, our World Championship team, our senior team, as well as the development and our U18 national teams. So anything around, again, the hiring of our staff, the vision of our program, and any decision moving forward on what that looks like, I think lies in my responsibilities. So pretty big task, definitely some really big shoes to fill in terms of what Melody Davidson has brought to our program, but really looking forward to the challenge and certainly have a great team around us that I know will serve us really well down the road here and certainly help me grow and learn this new position as I grow into this new role.
Well, again, Gina, congratulations. They are large shoes to fill, and I am confident that you are the person to do it. Now, Gina, as you know, many female hockey players, Canadian, American, European, have all played NCAA Division I or Division III college hockey in the United States. You did as well. Share with our listeners where you played and what that experience was like.
Yeah, I had the privilege, and I say privilege because it still remains probably one of my favorite experiences of all times. I had the privilege of playing for St. Lawrence University in upstate New York, Canton, New York, Division I hockey, and be able to earn a degree in psychology at St. Lawrence University, which is a pretty prestigious university, and felt very honored that I was able to play 4 years of college hockey, but also get a degree there, which is always very important. And I think it's an aspect of our game that I really love, is the fact that the pathway of our game is through universities, either U Sports in Canada or NCAA in the U.S., but it really is the path that we all take, and it serves us well in terms of the type of athletes that we have at the high levels. They're all very well educated. They represent themselves very well, and certainly have a bright future once they're done the game of hockey, where they can use their degrees to pursue a second career and be successful at that. So again, St. Lawrence was one of the best 4 years of my life, and really truly appreciated the friendships that I made there, as well as the mentorship that I received from my coaches, and certainly going to what I think is still probably the best university in the U.S. I still bleed scarlet and brown, and certainly something that I look back with very fond memories with.
Well, that's great to hear, because we have heard from so many that say your college days, your playing career in college, and just your college days in general should be some of the best 4 years of your life. So I'm glad you had a really good experience. Then you went on from college to have an amazing playing career with Team Canada. Talk a bit about the World Championships that you've played at, the results, as well as the Olympic Games.
Yeah, for sure. I played at my first World Championships in 2001. It was in Minneapolis. I was, I think, just 18, turning 19 that year, and I was pretty young, pretty naive on what that all looked like. I was fortunate enough to make the team that first year. The second year in 2001, 2002 was our centralization year with Hockey Canada. So I was able to be invited to try out, I guess, for the 2002 Olympic Games that were held in Salt Lake City. So coming off of making the team the year before, I felt pretty comfortable and confident that, my childhood dream of becoming an Olympian was going to happen at that moment, going to Salt Lake City. I had an unfortunate, rude awakening that it wasn't meant for me, or wasn't the time for me. I actually got released from that team October 9th. I remember the date, I remember the time, so it's definitely very still very a big day in my life and my career, if you may. From there, I obviously continued to pursue that dream of becoming an Olympian one day, and to continue to play for our senior national team. So I went on to compete in 5 more World Championships in my career, winning 3 World Championship gold medals and 3 silver medals. I also was able to make the Olympic team in 2006. As well as in 2010, winning 2 Olympic gold medals. So definitely had a lot of success with the national team, which, very honored, and it definitely helped me, mold myself into who I am today. But, again, that 2002 piece where I got released really certainly shaped a big part of my success moving on from there, but also who I am today in terms of not taking things for granted, making sure that I'm really detail-oriented, and that, again, I enjoy every single day, so that I, put my best foot forward in whatever I do. So it definitely has helped me kind of in this new career, new path, and certainly it helped me become who I am today, for sure.
Well, Gina, you've had such an accomplished career as an athlete. You've also had an accomplished career as a coach. The highs and lows that you've experienced as an athlete and as a coach at the highest levels in the game have helped prepare you for this new job that you have. There's no doubt about it. Talk a little bit about your vision now. I mean, you are the head of women's high performance hockey in Canada, the national team, the Olympic team, and Canada is touted as, hey, hockey's our game. That's a lot of pressure, but like you said, it's also a privilege. I know you can't share a lot of secrets, or maybe not any secrets, but you can share your vision. So share with us anything you're willing to share with us about your vision for the national team in the next, say, 4 years.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy question, I'm not going to lie, but I'll try to tackle it as much as I can. I think, again, the one thing that as an athlete that you kind of develop over the years is your competitiveness and your desire and your need to win. And I say that in the most trying to I wouldn't say modest way, but, cautious way. I know it's not all about winning. I know there's a process. I understand there's a lot of other elements that are very important to our program. But, first and foremost, I think we have to tackle the thing that really is, hanging over our heads is that, more and more in our program, if you look at the past 8 years, we haven't won as much as we used to win. And I think there's a lot of lessons that can be learned, and there's a lot of development and growth that can happen through winning. If we have a successful senior team that, wins at the senior national level in terms of our world championships or the next Olympics, the impact that has on our game and our country is massive. So not only for the selfishness of wanting to be the lead in the world and women's hockey, but also to be able to create that impact at the grassroots level, to grow the number of women that play, or young girls that play in our country. I think we have to look at it as a bigger role that winning really has. So that is the first thing that we're trying to tackle, is to create the process that will allow us to be successful, to allow us to win at world championships, so that we can, continue to grow our game, but also create a culture around our team that we certainly used to have and used to really carry forth, and that's the winning tradition. I think all of our athletes and our staff are very competitive, and they're hungry to get back on that top step of the podium, and I think we've got the right elements and the right people in place. It's just a matter of really creating a process around that to enable us to succeed, and hopefully that wave of success is felt across the board, across our country, from coast to coast, at all levels, at all ages, so that, again, we continue to be a provider of the women's game in our country, and continue to help it grow and flourish, and see how big and how high the women's game can get. So I do think we play a role in that, and I do think that, putting our best foot forward in international competitions gives us the best opportunity and the best chances to have an impact on our game in Canada.
Yes, absolutely. And Canada and the U.S. have raised the bar in women's hockey around the world and continue to do so, and the game just gets better and better. So speaking of that, we have an international event next week. Canada is hosting the Four Nations Cup in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan this year. Begins next week. The event is November 6th to the 10th. Share with us when the team's headed to Saskatoon and what the short-term competition will look like for Team Canada.
Yeah, we're actually heading there. Our staff is heading there tomorrow. Our athletes are joining us on November 1st. We've got a bit of a pre-comp competition happening. I guess it's our preparation for the tournament. From November 1st to November 6th. We will actually be playing an exhibition game in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan on the 4th against Team Finland. And then on the 6th, our tournament starts. We play Sweden. Then we meet the Americans on the 7th. On the 9th, we play Finland. And then on the 10th, it's the bronze medal game or the gold medal game. So according to your record in the first 3 games, that determines if you play for the gold medal or the bronze medal. And then it's just a 1-game final on Saturday, the 10th. So great tournament. We've done this for many years now. I think it's 22nd year that we've been doing it, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But a great opportunity to meet the best countries in the world with Sweden, Finland, and the U.S. and to be able to see where we stack up, where we measure up against those countries, to be able to see where we stack up within our plan moving forward for this year. And again, to be able to play in Canada in front of a Canadian crowd. It's another opportunity for us to leave our footprint, to be able to help grow the game, to help inspire the next generation of young athletes that come out and watch and go, hey, Dad, can I play women's hockey? This is fast. This is fun. This is great. I met Jill Saunier in the hallway, and she's great. She's reachable. I asked her questions. She made a joke with me. To really be able to have that impact on that community is going to be it's always a great opportunity, and we don't take it lightly. So we're really looking forward to our competition from many levels in Saskatoon. But obviously the on ice performance, but also what we can leave as a legacy behind is also very important.
Well, that's a great approach. And I wish you well. We all wish you well. I'm actually coming to Saskatoon, and we'll be supporting you. It's going to be an exciting competition. It's exciting that it's in Canada. It's exciting that it's in Saskatoon. And I agree, an opportunity to leave your footprint and to role model for all these young girls that are playing and dream of playing one day. So, Gina, you've got a very important job. You've got a lot of responsibility, but you're well respected by your peers, including me. And we all wish you the very best in this new and exciting endeavor in your job, but as well as your first international competition with Four Nations Cup.
I appreciate that, Shannon, very much. And I would say that, again, having someone like yourself back in the game and coaching, at the infernal level and coaching our athletes is also huge for our game and huge for our athletes. So, I wanted to make sure to mention that I really do appreciate that. And I know I've told you that a few times before, but, in terms of our game, it's great to have you back.
Well, Gina, thank you. I really appreciate that. We'll see you in Saskatoon.
Sounds great. Perfect.
All sports, one voice. We coach. Tune in to the voice of women coaches on the We Coach podcast. This is Wisp Sports.
I'm going to share with you a sidebar. Something I learned from a book by T.D. Jakes. It's a parable of the giraffe and the turtle, and I find it very interesting and true. The giraffe is an amazing animal. Their necks are 9 feet long, but yet they are born short, stubby, and small, so they can fit through the birth canal of their mother. The giraffe grows a lot after they are born. Giraffes grow up eating from the tops of trees. They have long necks, they operate at a high level, they stand tall, and they operate from a vision at their level. They eat at the vision of their level. They live at the level of their vision. Now, giraffes operate in the same space as the turtle. The turtle, as cute as it may be, cannot see above the grass. The turtle eats at its own level, lives at its own level, and that's all they can see and it's all they know. The giraffe eats at a higher level, grazes at a higher level, has a longer neck for a reason, and remains at the level that they were born to be at. What's interesting is that when a giraffe drops its head towards the ground, where the turtle is, it can only be down there to eat or to graze for no longer than 30 seconds After 30 seconds, the oxygen gets cut off to the giraffe's brain and it passes out. A giraffe is designed to be high, to eat at the tops of trees, to stay high, the level it was born at, with a strong vision and not to go down to the lower level. The giraffe also has a big head and a 25-pound heart. The heart is strong to pump the blood and oxygen to the giraffe's head so that it can think at that level, see at that level, and live at that level. That's one of my favorite parables, and I wanted to share that with you today. Now, I'm going to go back to talking about hockey. What I'm going to share with you is actually extremely important when you're playing a game and you're protecting a lead late in the period or late in the game. Important defensive concepts while defending a 1 or 2 goal lead late in a period or late in the game. Let's talk about the defensive zone first. Always take the body. Be second in quick for possession. Always come off your check on the defensive side, protecting the lane to the net and boxing out. Be physical. Let the goalie see the shot. Tie up the hands and stick of your check. Get to rebounds first and go. Once you establish possession off a rebound, go. Quick transition to offense. That's an important piece of why playing good, strong defense puts you on offense. Under pressure of, say, an aggressive forecheck or pinching defenseman, chip the puck out past the pressure and go. Sometimes you need to double chip the puck into the neutral zone to gain the red line and just get the puck deep. It's a safe and smart way to play when protecting a lead. Now in the neutral zone, you want to move the puck to the outside lane for offensive zone entry. Don't force anything up the middle or across the ice. Under pressure at the red line or the offensive zone blue line, just get the puck deep. This eliminates the threat of a turnover and is a safe, smart play. Now keep in mind, I'm a very offensive coach. I'm all about possession, but there are times in the game, it's called game management, where you must play a different kind of hockey, a different style, and play smart to protect your lead. Make sure you gain the red line before dumping the puck to avoid icing calls. Now, the offensive zone. Work the puck deep in the offensive zone. Don't move the puck to the point unless you're 100% sure the passing lane is there. They are wide open with no pressure, and it's the best play you have. Other than that, keep the puck deep in the offensive zone, keep it moving, and attack from down low. Always keep a high forward on the attack, and that's typically a general rule, but it's a must rule if you're protecting a lead late in the game. Defense, don't pinch. Even if you've been pinching all game and you've created that defensive pressure to put you on offense, late in the game, protecting a lead, don't pinch, because the opponent is going to try to chip the puck out by you. They're counting on the fact that you might pinch because you have been pinching the whole game. They're going to want to chip it by you and go. So just simply retreat. Play good, smart defensive hockey. Defend the rush. But having said that, stay up so that you keep that pressure up. So you stay up and you play with confidence and you pressure before the defensive blue line. You're just not pinching in the offensive zone. Play hard and smart to protect your lead. Now, I'm going to share with you Drill of the Week. During each show, I announce a Drill of the Week. And I post it on my Facebook page at Coach Shannon Miller. The drills are posted every Thursday. Since in today's podcast, I'm talking about being creative, this week's drill is going to be creative play in the offensive zone, and it's called Decoy Give and Go. Coaches, what we do matters. Preparation, discipline, motivation. All details, and they all matter. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Push the players outside of their comfort zones and have fun doing it. At times, we have to push the athletes. So push them out of their comfort zones. Make them a little bit uncomfortable. Athletes need to reach to stretch, but they know what they are reaching for, and they love it.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
Thank you for downloading this podcast and supporting Hockey Talk with Coach Shannon Miller on Wisp Sports. I wish you all the best as you strive to grow your wingspan and fly. Follow and comment on social media. Twitter is at Wisp Sports. My Twitter, at Miller12Shannon. My Facebook and Instagram is at Coach Shannon Miller. My website is CoachShannonMiller.com. You can find links in the show notes for this episode at wisports.com and find more coverage of women's sport. Thank you for listening and supporting the women in sport everywhere. My next episode is Tuesday, November 6th.